Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can see me okay, hear me okay. If not, let me know, either verbally or through the chat box, and I'll try and fix that. We have a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 more minutes before we get started. But if you want to go ahead and type your first and last name in the chat box, just so that I can take attendance for you guys and you can get those points at the end, that would be great. And we'll get started here in just a few minutes. All right, about 1 more minute. If you haven't typed your name in the chat box, go ahead and do that for attendance, and we'll get started shortly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And again, if you have trouble hearing me or seeing the screen or anything like that, please let me know. If you're just joining the chat, go ahead and type your first and last name in the chat box for me so I can take attendance at the end. And we'll go ahead and get started. So again, if you're new to these meetings, my name is Emily. I'll be doing these food for thought meetings with you each Tuesday at 2 o'clock. This week, we'll be talking about eating the rainbow. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard that phrase before, eat the rainbow, get all the colors in, veggies, fruits, all the produce that you possibly can, right? So today we're just going to kind of be discussing the benefits, what different colors do for your body, the health purposes behind those colors, where they come from, and then a little take action item at the end as well. All right, so here's just a little infographic that I included, some of the benefits of the different colors that are often associated with health benefits in produce. So green, obviously, that's a big antioxidant, right? So it's going to help with your immune system, your eye health, your arterial function, lung health, heart health. Green is the main big one that everyone wants to get in, right? Eat your greens, that's the big one. Under that, we have some purple and blue, whether it's cabbage or blueberries, purple carrots, grapes, eggplants, things like that. Those are going to be really beneficial for the heart and brain, and especially your bones and arteries as well. Moving on to red, so things like strawberries or tomatoes, raspberries. These are going to be really beneficial for prostate and urinary health, and they also really help protect against cancer and heart disease. Moving on to yellow and orange, these are really good for eye health. So you've probably heard that carrots are really, really beneficial for your eye health, which is super true. Orange carrots are really beneficial for eye health, also immune function, healthy growth and development, things like that. And then moving on to white. White is going to be one of those weird ones that people usually don't think of, right? So things like cauliflower, onion, garlic is really, really beneficial to your health, especially fighting cancer and heart disease. And then these things also support healthy bones and the circulatory system. All right, so moving on, phytonutrients. What is this big word? Why is it so important, right? So phytonutrients are basically what gives plants their color as well as their taste and smell. So phytonutrients make plants their specific color, whether it's green, red, orange, blue, purple. That's what phytonutrients are. They also strengthen the plant's immune system, protect the plant from the harmful rays of the sunlight, and just the natural environment around it. Phytonutrients protect us when we eat those things from chronic diseases. They have a lot of anti-cancer, anti-heart disease effects, and they're also associated with a reduced risk of many chronic diseases, some of those including cardiovascular disease. So the daily recommendation for getting in your produce is about 2 to 3 cups of vegetables and 2 cups of fruit per day. Does anybody, whether it's out loud or in the chat box, do you guys think that you are hitting that, you're almost hitting that, or you're completely off, you're not hitting that at all? Daily recommendation. I know saying this out loud is it's almost overwhelming, right? That's almost 5 cups of produce a day, and that can sound like a lot, but we're going to talk about this later on. It's actually not as big as you may think. So there are thousands and thousands different types of phytonutrients. Today, we're just going to be focusing on 6 of those and what they kind of do and where you can get those in your produce. So the first one being carotenoids. So these provide some of the yellow, orange, and red colors in your produce. They act as a really big antioxidant in your body. So things like peppers, carrots, bananas, tomatoes, those are going to be super beneficial, acting as an antioxidant in your body. Next, we have ellagic acid. These help protect against cancer in several different ways. Things like different berries and pomegranates would be in this category. Moving on to number 3, we have flavonoids. This is kind of an antioxidant, inflammatory reduction type of nutrient. Things like apples, berries, especially onions and kale. Those can really help with reducing your inflammation. Next, we have resveratrol. These act as an antioxidant as well as an anti-inflammatory. Example of this would be grapes. Moving on, glucose enolates. These words are kind of a mouthful, right? These are found in those dark leafy greens. So Brussels sprouts, kale, broccoli, spinach. They really help in holding back the growth of cancer, again, being that antioxidant in your body. And lastly, we're going to be talking about phytoestrogens. These lower the risk of endometrial cancer, and they also lower the risk of bone loss in women, providing those extra estrogens that women often need, things like flax seeds or sesame seeds. So getting started. So this is just a quick little overview of kind of a tip on how you can get started to include more colorful produce in your diet. The first one being is include as many plant-based colors as possible. So for me, I always tell my clients, when you're making a meal, try to include at least 2 different colors of plant-based produce. So whether it's in your fruit or in your veggies, try and get 2 different colors in each meal, and throughout the day that will really add up. The second little getting started tip that I often tell my clients is to eat the colorful skins of your produce, right? I know juicing is super trendy, it's super popular in the health and wellness industry, which juicing is not bad. Obviously, you're still getting in some nutrients, you're still getting hydrated, if you will, but you're missing out on those skins, those fibrous skins from the veggies. When you juice your produce, you're essentially taking all those skins off. You're not getting as much fiber. You're just getting in the hydration, essentially a little bit of vitamins and minerals here and there, but not nearly as much as if you were to just eat the whole fruit or the whole vegetable with their skin on. The skin is kind of the richest source of the phytonutrients. So this is why you should really not be peeling like your apples, your peaches, your eggplants as much as possible. Even like your zucchini and things like that, just to really make sure that you're getting all the beneficial nutrients that you possibly can. And then the third little getting started tip here is just some examples of high phytonutrient foods that you can include in your diet. Things that we discussed kind of in that first slide, like the red, orange, and yellow vegetables, those dark leafy greens. Again, green is going to be that big one. So whether it's spinach, kale, bok choy, broccoli, and then those white produce items such as garlic, onions, leeks, things like that are also super beneficial. All right. So tips and tricks, moving on. Again, we discussed this in the beginning, but for serving sizes, so those 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, 2 to 3 cups of fruit each day. Serving sizes are not as big as you may think, right? Especially when you're having those dark leafy greens. So if you're cooking up some spinach or kale, if you saute it down a little bit, you can literally add in an entire bag of spinach to a pan, saute it up, and it ends up being right like this big. So serving sizes are actually not as big as you may think. Just half a cup of chopped up vegetables or fruit makes that 1 serving, right? So if you have half a little cup of strawberries, that's 1 of your 5 daily servings right there. The second little tip is to think in 2s. So try to eat 2 servings in the morning, so with your breakfast, 2 in the afternoon with your lunch, and 2 at night. This will be really beneficial, especially if you're busy throughout the day, and then you say you don't eat any of your servings throughout the day, you come home for dinner, and now you have your 5 servings to somehow pack into 1 meal. So it's nice to just kind of space it out throughout the day. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. The third tip would be to make your snacks count, right? So I know for me personally, snacks are really beneficial, especially throughout the day, getting in those servings. So if you're feeling hungry between your meals, go ahead and munch on a piece of fruit, keep that skin on, right? You can even grab some raw veggies, maybe take some dips like hummus to go with you, or even guacamole, things like that. When you're shopping, look at your cart. So this may seem like an obvious one, but when you're buying your produce, look and see if you have maybe a ton of all of the one same color, maybe swap out one, get in a different color. So if you're maybe into a ton of red fruits and vegetables for whatever reason that may be, maybe take out one and add in a green veggie or green fruit. Just kind of get that versatility in your diet. The fifth one is to dine out colorfully. So whether you start with a cup of vegetable soup or a side salad or a cup of fruit on the side, obviously we're not going to have every single meal home cooked and ready to go every single day. That's just not realistic. So just making those little mindful choices to get in those colors even when you're dining out, super important. The second to last one, look locally, right? So farmers markets, co-ops, buying clubs, community farms, those are a really good source of fresh produce, usually for a much cheaper price than if you were to go in your local grocery store. Ask your farmer for ideas on how to cook these, what's a good recipe, and again, making sure that you're getting those variety of colors when you're out. And the last one, hitting on our topic from last week, fresh, frozen, or canned, whatever your produce of choice may be, it all counts, right? So obviously we don't just want to stick to that one type of produce. We want to get a variety in, but they all do count, right? We're all busy. We have jobs. We're busy during the week. If you just want to pull out a can of green beans for dinner, that absolutely still counts as your colorful veggie serving for that day. And lastly, your take action item for this week. I created this little tracker at the bottom. If you want to either screenshot this, or this video will be uploaded to our YouTube account, you can use this chart to kind of track your rainbow intake for this week. So my recommendation would be try to aim for getting at least 1 serving of each of these colors of produce, so whether it's a fruit or a veggie, in each day this week. So filling out this chart for the next 7 days, trying to get in each of those colors, and just seeing how it works. Maybe you're unaware that you only get in red or you only get in green. Trying to get that variety, making those conscious efforts to get in that variety of color. So does anyone have any questions or comments or different points of discussion? Did you guys like today's topic?